What about your culture, Wayne? Because a bit of word on the decline. I know a lot of work has gone into that. Safety side and everything. What I've been told, you've put a lot of effort into changing that Westgold culture, so it's not that place where people get sacked from somewhere, they go get a job at Westgold and ACM.
Business had a TRIFR of 29 18 months ago. It's now down to 8. Old model might have been ounces. Now it's safe and profitable ounces.
When Gascoyne was going through their recap and they're exploring their strategic alternatives, did you guys put in a bid for the company?
Oh, Wayne, I haven't got much of an intro in me today, sorry. I'm a little bit lethargic.
You're a bit parched, Matty.
I believe I was talking to Wayne Butt last night, so he might be an influential factor on that.
There's a photo of us all
That
together.
must have been at 6:30, eh? Oh, yeah, there is a photo, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
That was a cracking photo, actually. I just saw it before.
Is that on Matty's OnlyFans page or? No?
Mate, tell you what, the subscription value of that's going up by the day. We're like best friends, but we've never met each other, but till now, in person. Wait till we get the office in West Perth. You won't have to blab to us on the phone as much. You can come in person.
We'll come down and see you or vice versa.
That'd be great, mate.
I must. When I saw you, the very first thing I thought is, gee, the hair is just as impressive as it is in photos.
Mate, it's lucky to have anything left after a couple of decades in this industry.
Oh, mate, a few more hostile, takeover bids and
Friendly,
you'll lose a bid.
Trav.
Hostile.
Face of M&A.
Mate, good to see and I hadn't caught up with Phil Wilding for about 10 years. He was one of my first alternate underground manager. And good to see he still chucks a bit of mayo on top of the stories.
He's a good-looking rooster, and he's a pretty handy mining engineer too.
He's very intelligent, but just a bit of GST on the stories. Well, Wayne, what's the goss? You are the centre of the goss.
No.
You are the nucleus of word on the decline.
You've made Murchinson sexy again, mate. So now we need to know from the magnate of the Murchison, what's the word on the decline?
Listen, we've got lots of plans for the Murchison, and tomorrow you'll have something more to work with.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Are you buying Gascoyne tomorrow?
And look, no, Simon, and contrary to popular belief, Simon and I are quite chatty, but no, it's not Gascoyne. We're not buying anything.
Are you buying something tomorrow?
It's out of market, Wayne. You could technically tell us.
No, I think we'll leave it tomorrow. I might give you a scoop early in the morning, though, but tomorrow will be a pretty significant announcement for Westgold.
I reckon
significant in the sense of relating to existing operations?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been leading up to certain decisions which were pending over the last quarter. So
right, yeah, decisions pending.
What's the planning behind doing it on the third day of Diggers? We had a big flood of announcements yesterday.
It's a very good question, and the answer is we only resolved this. The board only resolved to do this yesterday.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny how all these drilling results and everything seems to finally get over the line on the Monday of Diggers, just coincidentally.
It's amazing how many new discoveries happen. The week of Diggers.
It's just that beginning of August period. It is the drilling.
I think the exploration companies know that they get a bit of a blowout at Diggers, so they work real hard to reward themselves. Rest of
getting
the
into Christmas.
Rest of the year's a bit of a dog fuck, but
it's a tough week for you guys too, because the news flow yesterday would have been like a tidal wave. I'm not sure what today was like.
It, mate. We absolutely did not talk about any of the
It's a tough week, all
right. There was some interesting
stuff.
Speaking about gold, not in Australia, but we saw OreCorp have a bit of a tie-up, a merger. Did you catch that one? Do you have any opinions on that one?
No, but I haven't seen that one. But I dare say, if you're a North American company in the gold space, everything probably looks cheap down here.
Do you know what I want to talk to you about, Wayne?
Tell me.
I learned a little bit about your history last night, including that you.
This has two questions to it. This one.
Tin barron.
Is this a tin barron?
It's true. I might have been. And maybe I'm pushing the barrow here, the original tin guy in Australia.
So tell me about that. Is that linked with Westgold and previously Metals X, or totally different?
Long before Westgold, I fell in love with tin. And I bought a tin project in North Queensland for what was a precursor of Westgold, a project terribly named Collingwood. in North Queensland, and from that started a journey of about 20 years in tin.
Wow.
Ended up with a tin project in Morocco.
Yeah.
Well, undeveloped?
We bought it from the government I started the company. I had an idea about tin.
Yeah.
Some very good people, Societe Generale, Macquarie, RCF, gave us some money, and we started drilling an underground tin target in Morocco.
And Wayne, just to improve our education in the money miners, how does Morocco fare in Africa as jurisdictions go?
Look, fantastically. I mean, again, Morocco is a very sophisticated place, whether it comes to law or finance. We had a fantastic time as a junior company there. We got to do straight business. A lot of the other issues you may see across Africa didn't exist there, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah. It's one of those fantastic countries, but yes, it's unrequited love for me. It was a tin project we never got to build. That project is still sitting there, but for my sins, I still love the commodity and are still connected in that space.
So you're a Metals ex-shareholder then?
Sadly, no. No, I mean Renison, is the grand old girl down there. I mean, it's been running for 100 odd years and we'll probably go for 100 more.
Love Brett Smith to come on the podcast.
Getting active.
Yeah. But let's
ding ding ding, by the way.
I'll leave this one with you. Tin, the original critical metal.
The original, mate, it's not in Australia. They're not calling it
I know, it's because we don't have much of it here other than Renison, and that's largely off the screen for a lot of people.
Yeah. Hang on, with the critical minerals, right, and the way I've sort of been thinking about it recently, is it not the way that it's classified is it's critical if it's, something that your country cannot produce? So could it be the case that we have Renison is the reason it's not a critical mineral because we're not having a huge shortage of it? Or am I thinking about that wrong?
No, we probably don't consume a lot of it.
Yeah.
But in the world market now, and guesses probably when I worked in it was about 250,000 tonnes per annum. I mean, you guys are up more current than me. What's the world market for tin now?
Oh, mate, I don't know. There's just a Twitter herd that I like.
But the thing is that no one's spent money on exploration in tin for a long time. Yeah. Maybe Elementos is probably at the front of that now, or Oropesa in Spain, but a lot of these prospects have been around for 40 years.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one with a cartel type dynamics for a long time. Puffing up prices to unsustainable levels, and then like all those things that just sort of fall over when they lose control of it.
Eventually, you got your bloody senses knocked into you, and you turn into gold, and because you can actually have a bit of mainstream investor appetite when you run a gold company.
And good point, Trav, because this is one of the first companies I've run where you don't have to start with a periodic table and go, this is where the element is, and then this is what it does.
There's no need to start the investor pres with a market slide.
Correct. So gold, gold people get gold, and so that's makes the story a lot easier to digest.
But you were saying off the air just before that you're working with a couple other goldies to try and drum up a bit of interest in the sector.
Yeah.
Obviously this, you sort of said before, feels a bit more like a critical minerals type conference. So
and it's true, and very much it feels like gold is the supporting cast to the battery metals at Diggers, and that's fine. Gold has been the premier topic in Diggers gone past. Well, in this Diggers, it's battery elements. Yeah. Battery minerals.
What do you reckon about me word on the decline that I started, Wayne, about Evolution taking out Westgold?
Look. That's a fantastic,
pretty good one.
That's a great story, Matty. Yeah. I like Evolution a lot, in terms of they're a benchmark for what I'd like Westgold to become. Yeah. Diversified across commodities, much larger. And if we could be as half as good as Evolution, that would be a great place to be.
We'll ask Jake. That's
a quick way to get there if they take you out.
Yeah, look,
rapid progress.
We're probably too small for Evolution. They probably have aspirations for bigger things, but I don't know. In Australia, where do you go for bigger things?
I met someone last night who was convinced the way the Murchison will unfold is that Ramelius takes over Musgrave, Westgold takes over Gascoyne, and then Ramelius and Westgold eventually merge.
I mean, that's certainly one option, but
you were talking to Wayne a lot last night.
look, we really, it's a big whiteboard of lots of magnets. How they all go together, who knows?
Do they all go together?
Well,
are they magnetic?
What's the benefit if these two go together?
Well, there's a benefit in scale, absolutely. And in some sense, the Murchison's got way too much processing capital. It doesn't need all that processing capital. No. Does it need fewer, bigger mills? Probably yes. So do some of those companies come together? I mean, ultimately maybe so, but market forces and personalities.
All those companies have mills.
Yes.
Well, except for Musgrave. But
but Musgrave is case in point there. Yeah. Didn't make sense for them to build anything.
No.
Yeah.
And exactly. That one box has got more than enough processing capacity.
And you sold your Alto shares, Wayne.
Yeah, again, that was about, the...
I owe these guys a carton now. We're going to bet on who you'd
Travellers betting that you'd take them out.
I was like, I reckon Alto. And you what do? You sell the shares and now I've got to pay up early.
You didn't run it by us first.
So, that's another belt that needs to be consolidated, and by us at least selling those shares to Horizon, I mean, they've got the capacity and the intent to roll all that up into something bigger. For us, it's not ounces tomorrow, and we're more interested in ounces tomorrow. That's probably in ounces.
When are we coming for the site trip?
You are coming up in September, I believe, and
yes.
that will be fascinating for your listeners too, because we're going to give you free access to meet some of the people in the business who actually move the dial.
Yep.
Talk to a bogger driver, a long hole driller, get some footage, try and use that for the potty to make this industry far more relatable.
Trav and I can see what a mine looks like then as well.
Mate, the thing I love the most about underground mining, the thing I miss the most, and if we could film this, is having a shower with the boys at the end of the day after a big bloody shift, and you're all in the shower, pumped up, ready to go to the pub. Now that is underground mining.
Now, Maddie, it's 2023, and if that's what floats your boat, look, we can't judge, okay? I mean, that's okay. Probably not an experience you want to capture on film. We'd have to refer that to our legal department, who are unlikely to sign off on that.
I might just go in for a shower anyway, just won't film it.
I got a dream that I want to make come real one day, Wayne, and that's having at least a day of work underground. So how many inductions, how many days do I have to spend in inductions before I can spend one day being a nipper?
So you'd have to do at least 5 days induction with us at our underground facility.
What if I'm really good at the inductions? Can I do it faster?
You'd have to, I don't know, you'd have to talk to our safety people. There's probably no shortcuts. But Matty, would he be able to handle one shift underground as a nipper?
Not two. I'm aware of my limitations.
He would be tripping over everywhere because he'd be bloody going flat out. He'll have a whole new process defined and written out. Like he'll just tell you what it'd be intense. It'd be an intense 12 hours.
Could we just put him on the underground crew for the day or half a day?
Mate, you'd need at least a fortnight of familiarisation to calm him down because he's going to go in hard. Oh, mate,
he'll have his own safety person with him.
Gleeso did it at Northern Star. He went to Millennium with all the old school jumbo ops, bloody Mango and all that, and went underground for a week because he's like, if I'm selling this company, I want to work underground.
Fantastic.
And then he's claiming, so then the week after it, I think it was Millennium or KB, they're doing the weekly report comes in and I think Millennium had the highest amount of meters, and Gleeso's like, yeah, don't worry, boys, I'll sort it out for you. Claiming he was the best underground miner, that he contributed to these meters.
Listen, that's a little ambitious, I think.
Absolute legend, friend of the show. Oh, Gavin Waits, you'd love to come in.
Hey, Wayne, I'm curious, mate. Like outlook on the sector broadly. Zoom out, think themes. You know, like what sort of period are we entering when you think of where capital markets are, where like dynamics are with funding? Yep. Do you think there's an appetite for more consolidation? Do you think there's less? What are the themes that are driving the stuff we want to talk about? Yeah. Like what's next?
I mean, this is a cycle, and the cycle that I can see now is it's getting harder for the explorers to raise capital. A lot of certainly in the gold space anyway. I mean, if you're a lithium explorer, maybe the hot money's still there, but having just come from, say, the lunchtime session that Discovery ran, I mean, clearly it's gold exploration is a tough space. I mean, people seem to be gravitating towards producers. And on the producer front, I mean, clearly there's a thematic of lots of cashed up producers who are now looking at getting bigger. And those options within Australia are quite limited. So, I think it feels like, to me, it's 10:30 at the pub. Everyone's had a few drinks and everyone's sort of looking at each other, but we're not they're not quite ready to ask each other to dance
Mate,
yet.
10:30 at the pub is when the real word on the decline starts. Let me tell you, between 10:30 and 1:30 a.m., people actually tell you the rumours. Before then, it's just bullshit.
No, we thought. I said before. Word on the decline is directly proportional to BAC levels.
I love it. So that's the thematic. I think within the Aussie gold sector, you're going to see more either a flight to quality in terms of people with cash. The explorers, maybe the explorers have to all consolidate as well because the pool of funds for them is shrinking. And there's safety in numbers and safety in scale.
Have you got any questions for us, Wayne?
Wow. I mean, are you guys, how are you feeling about the potty? Did you expect that it would have this level of sort of, you've all become YouTube stars.
It's
did
bloody
you think,
mad.
Did you think that, as a cricketer, a nerd and a bogan, that you'd become household
JD
names?
didn't even think that he was going to be on camera. Like, he thought he was just going to be doing research and everything. And we're like, JD, you're
I was going
on
to be
camera.
Rupert Murdoch behind the scenes.
This
and
is
then
what-
all these guys doing the actual day-to-day stuff. but
Did you not read the contract, or it was a bit of
There was no contract. It was just a
She was a
quick
bit
chat
of
on
a
the phone. Yeah, let's give this one a go.
She's a bit of a thumb suck setup.
Look,
Yeah.
I think the thing, and we're not pumping your tyres here, but making the broader industry more relatable, trying to decipher some ASX releases, which are a really hard thing to draw from because there's code in ASX releases, there's lots of colour, you can't add to it. What you guys do is making this sector far more relatable to a broader group of people. So, respect, well done.
So I've got something funny. I've actually just been given a bit of word on the decline out there, and you're going to laugh at this.
Yeah.
So there was a luncheon next door, and there was a certain company presenting that we've covered before,
Yeah.
Yes, I was there.
and someone has called in Chris Judd's read out a question. So I've got a question from Matt Michael, wondering if, wanting to know some more info on your cross sections and wondering if the ore's actually there.
There was having Peter and I were in
see the
the
question,
room.
did you?
I wasn't even there, but I've been stitched up, but they reckon everyone lost it.
Peter and I was in the room, and you could feel there was a certain level of tension.
So that's a bit of bloody word on the street, you'd say.
No.
Good stuff, Wayne.
So
Wayne,
no,
can
well
we do
done.
a overrated, underrated with you? Are you free to?
Okay. I saw
I
that
like
one.
this
That
new
one-
segment you're doing.
Yeah, I don't
You
mind.
That guy's more
contribute way
educated
much
than
more
me,
than me
though.
these days.
Oh, yeah, Kingsley, he was switched on, but we tried it yesterday as well. I think it goes all right. You give it a go.
We're allowed to say moderately rated. We frown upon it. We want overrated, underrated.
Yeah, because
but
you want it black or white.
we do.
That's
I've got
it.
a good one to start. Metals X.
Don't know enough about it. They're a tin
You're
producer.
a tin man.
Underrated.
Hey,
Got the
All
best
right.
tin asset in Australia.
Tropicana.
Underrated.
Julimar.
Overrated.
De Grey.
Sorry.
De Grey.
Underrated.
KCGM.
Underrated.
Diggers and dealers in Kalgoorlie.
Oh, that's a good one.
I might just pass on that one. Can I phone a friend on that one?
Accommodation prices to go to Diggers and dealers in Kalgoorlie.
Overrated.
I'm not sure if you follow this one, Wayne, but the Metals Acquisition Corp, the CSA mine, all that.
Don't follow it. But base metals, interesting.
Okay.
ESG.
ESG, emerging.
It's not overrated or underrated.
No, I don't think ESG, you can take that approach to it. I think it's, in some sense, it's business as usual now. It's just stuff that we got to deal with.
Electrification of existing underground mines.
It'll be a long time. Matty, you can see in the underground gear, the heavy gear that we've got, it's diesel and hybrid. Small gear is full electric, but, full electric heavy gear like the 2900s and the 63s, it's not going to get there anytime soon.
Yeah.
Never.
Underrated. Fantastic story. Simon and Nick have turned something into nothing there, or nothing into something.
Let's talk. Hang on.
Qualia. Before you do that.
Hard.
I'm keen to talk about Never.
It's a fantastic gin.
I'm I'm looking at
So you've actually drank the gin.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Gin
Well,
is a fantastic.
you're halfway there,
is a byproduct of working in the sector, I think.
when Gascoyne was going through their recap and they're exploring their strategic alternatives, did you guys put in a bid for the company?
No.
Right.
No.
Why not at that time?
No, I think at that stage we were full tilt on the sort of turnaround and reset of Westgold. It was just...
Yeah. Do you regret not putting in a bid for the company then?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think, we look at how we deploy our capital now. We've got enough of our own internal targets now, which are always going to get the chocolates over someone else's.
What about your culture, Wayne? Because a bit of word on the decline. I know a lot of work has gone into that because I guess the old ACM model had a bit of it just had that stigma because it was a smaller contractor and everything.
Yeah.
But like I've worked with them and their standards were immaculate for services and everything. But like safety side and everything, what I've been told, you've put a lot of effort into changing that Westgold culture so it's not that place where people get sacked from somewhere, they go get a job at Westgold and ACM.
No, that's true, Matty. I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, the business had a TRIFR of 29 18 months ago. It's now down to 8. So it's better than Evolution and better than Ramelius. We've worked hard to reset that part of the business.
First stop point of the quarterly, Matty.
Yep.
When it's a shit quarter.
We safe and profitable ounces. That's the mantra we work to. And where the old model might have been ounces. Now it's safe and profitable ounces.
How long did it sort of take to really shift the culture? Because culture changes can take years.
It's still happening, but I'm really happy where the business has got to, sort of 12, 16 months past the change in management. But it's been quite brutal, but it had to be. We had to change our safety culture. We had to listen to our workforce. I mean, and anyone, and I said it this morning at the gig presentation, anyone that thinks culture is a soft, fluffy thing doesn't understand what it means, because cultural or organisational cultural change is hard, and we are still in it, but we're in a really good place now. We're starting to see it in our safety stats, our financial performance, our operating disciplines. All of those things have improved.
Who's driven it most? Like on the shop floor, obviously you're up the top. But how do you drive it?
So it starts at the top. I've had to get the messaging clear and set the expectations about how I want this company to be. The executive team now are very much leaned into that strategy, and now that's starting to filter down to the shop floor. So it's interesting now when I go to site, people talk to me about our values. Meaning, like I said, when you
what are they?
Which is show respect, choose safety, and deliver value. When the workforce is telling me these things, I know that the cultural reset is live and moving.
Yeah.
They now know that it's things which we take seriously, where it's not just a word stuck on the side of a sign, and you'll see it when you go to our operations. It's things which we are committed to doing.
Have you noticed any? Because I'm a firm believer in a good culture reduces stoke bridges, it increases meters, because just your standards and everything and the organisation and how a site operates is just, everything's just flows. Have you noticed a difference with the culture change and improvement in performance?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our model is leadership drives culture, culture drives performance. I think we've got the right leadership in place now across our mine sites, and we're seeing the culture change. Our safety numbers show that, and the operating performance is following. I mean, grade is up, profitability is up, so I think we've got the right model now. Now we just have to keep following through with changes that are beneficial. I see the optimism in our workforce now. It's a far happier workforce. We can always do more to make them happy, but I think they're starting to be proud of the company. They're proud of the performance.
I got a mate that works there who, he bloody was on me to get you on from an early point of time, and I think that comes from a place of pride from working there. I think like you talk about the change in culture. I think the other part of Westgold's repositioning in its future is repositioning its culture, which tick. How do you reposition it over the long run? Its image, you must be wanting to reposition it as as, not a fourth quartile cost producer, not a high cost producer. You want to sustainably be, Q2 or there or thereabouts. And how do you get there? How do you kind of reposition that message? And how do you actually get there as well?
First, you've got to stay on message about what the plan is, and B, just consistently under-promise and over-deliver. Continuing to add cash to our balance sheet, not hurt anyone, is a good start. Continuing to talk about culture and the things that are important to us, but continually over-deliver. Because previously, it would have been an easy criticism that we used to over-promise and under-deliver. Well, now we're purposely conservative in how we communicate. If we continue to do better than people's expectations, that will change that perception. So in some sense, that rate of change of the external perception is sort of out of my hands. I'm key to driving it, and the people in the business are key to driving it, but it's all about operational performance.
Wayne, one thing I look at with that to sort of see at the outset how it's all going is turnover.
Yep.
Do you notice with the culture change and there's less turnover in the business?
It's a really good question, actually, and it's probably not what you expect.
Because sometimes it causes more turnover because people don't want to follow the rules.
The cultural change
and then in the long run it should come down.
It's like short term.
So we're in that, we've got through that first period of saying these are the behaviours that these are our values. This is the behaviour that we won't tolerate. So that has seen turnover grow, and we're on the other side of that now. What tells me we're on the right path is, there are a lot of people returning to the business who didn't like how the business used to roll previously, but now see it as a safer, more inclusive, more organised business. So so Maddie's exactly right. Change generates a spike, and then if you get it right, that turnover should start to fall. We've only just gone over that, 12 months in, we've only just gone over that cliff.
Yeah, okay.
So still lots of work to do there in terms of turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
Anyway,
Good stuff.
Guys.
Bloody
Appreciate
Wayne,
having you on,
everyone thinks we're bloody chummy as hell with you, but
No,
they can all come and have a yarn as well.
And I've got a
Come on,
text.
Zeppy.
I've got a text message for you, Matty, from Mark Zeppner. Say hi to Matt and tell him he was the best golf partner I have had for ages.
Must have been because of how much piss I fed him. Should have seen at the end of the day, it was just hilarious because I had a couple other guys that were good value as well. And we were having a few on the course, but the vibe was that good. Didn't matter if it was a shit slice. Everyone was like, it was just everyone could hear us along the course. I'd say it was one of the bloody funnest days I've ever had.
Look, I'll just make one closing statement. Very much looking forward to having you three up on site. Only thing I'm not looking forward to is the shower scene with Matt. So,
Looking forward to it. I'll sort the shower bit out. That's the BD world. Yeah, I'll sort it out for
just
you,
keep
boys.
it clean, okay?
Cheers, Wayne.
Thanks,
Good on you,
guys.
Wayne.
Thanks for
Cheers,
that.
Cobber.
Awesome.
The information contained in this episode of Money of Mine is of general nature only and does not take into account the objectives, financial situation or needs of any particular person. Before making any investment decision, you should consult with your financial advisor and consider how appropriate the advice is to your objectives, financial situation and needs.